All right, this is your brother Issachar coming at you with another lesson. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles of the great millstones and learn his truth from. Honors to the elders and brothers out there pushing his word through the four corners of the earth within truth and sincerity. And shalom to the Akwat that's listening and learning. Today's video is going to be entitled, Some of Us Will Go to Prison for Teaching This Truth. All right. It's going to be entitled, Some of Us Will Go to Prison for Teaching This Truth. Now, I got inspired to do this lesson because of this video that I'm getting ready to show you all. And as you can see in the caption, it says, Netanyahu, Gov proposes a law banning positive speech about Jesus or promoting Christianity. Violators could face up to 2 years in prison. All right. Now, this is the thing. We already know that the small hats over there, they don't want anybody talking about Christianity, and they pretty much just want everybody to follow what they believe in. All right, that's it. If you believe in anything else, as you can see, this is the beginning. All right, this is the beginning. It says violators could face up to 2 years in prison, and this is for people who's out there speaking about Jesus, and it says in positive speech, not going out there, putting dirt on a name or anything like that. They talking about putting people in prison for 2 years for positive speech or promoting Christianity. All right. Now, we already know we don't get down with Christianity, and we definitely don't get down with that name Jesus. All right. We call on Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names. God's name is Yahweh and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. Those are the names that we call upon for salvation, for guidance, so forth and so on. All right. So, like I said, if they over here doing this, for people over here, who want to follow Christianity, you already know what is going to be when it comes to us teaching is true, because they definitely do not want us teaching that at all. Because the more and more that we teach this truth, that's the more and more that they crumble in the spirit, and that's more and more that their power fails. All right. So let's go ahead and play this video, and then we're going to grab a few scriptures.
Conservative Christian leaders are calling on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to stop a bill proposed by members of his coalition to make it criminal to tell people about Jesus in Israel. Our Jerusalem correspondent Daniel Cohen is live near Tel Aviv with more. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, Allison. Good morning, everyone. A big story just before days before Palm Sunday, Good Friday, and Easter. Sacred time for Christians. Two ultra-Orthodox members of Prime Minister Netanyahu's coalition have introduced a bill that would punish believers for sharing the gospel of Jesus with prison time. United Torah Judaism Knesset members Moshe Gafni and Yaakov Asher introduced legislation last week, making it illegal to share in conversation or produce content online, in print, or by mail. Their explanation of the bill emphasizes a warning to stop Christians in particular. The punishment: 1 year in prison or 2 years for sharing with someone under the age of 18. Joel Rosenberg is the host of the Rosenberg Report and editor-in-chief of All Israel News. He's also a Jewish follower of Jesus.
Obviously, the Jewish people. So to silence, to muzzle, and gag even Israelis like myself and others to say, you can't talk to another person about your faith and why you believe it, that is terrible. That is not freedom.
Although he doesn't agree theologically, Netanyahu has always been a strong friend of evangelicals, speaking at meetings and believing freedom of speech and freedom for Israel's small Christian community should be protected. Now, should this bill gain traction, it could spark a serious clash with the 60 million evangelicals in the United States and 600 million around the world. Gafni first introduced a ban on evangelism in 1999. It went nowhere. United Torah Judaism is in a stronger negotiating position now, though, since Netanyahu needs to keep the party in his coalition, or it could threaten Netanyahu's ability to remain in power. Allison, back to you.
Daniel Cohen, thank you so much.
So like you heard him say, he to remain in power. All right. They're doing everything in their power to make sure that people don't recognize this, of course. But we already know the main reason why they're doing this, man, because they're really trying to get rid of the Bible as a whole. All right. They don't want the Bible to be out there at all, because we got the truth, man. We got the truth. This is just a beginning. So then that way they can have a way to lead this to us. And then once it gets to us, then they can just pretty much say anybody that's over here reading the Bible or sharing their thoughts about the Bible or their faith within the Bible, they're going to face prison time. And the thing is, when it comes down to it, it's not just going to be 2 years, man. All right. They're going to get to the point where they're just going to start slaying people. They're going to start deleting people for believing in the scriptures. All right. And that's written. And that's one of the things that we have to get ready for, man. Because the scriptures do tell us that some of us may be beheaded for believing in Yahweh and Yahushua. All right. Some of us may have to go to prison for teaching this truth, but we have to remain and keep that faith and endurance to the end, even if that's our lot. All right. So let's go ahead and grab a few scriptures, man. Let's go ahead and get Amos chapter 8, because we got to start with this. With Amos 8 and 11, it says, behold, the days come, said the Lord power Yahweh, thou wilt send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. All right. So this word is going to disappear sooner or later. All right. The only ones that's going to maintain and have a grip on this word is the elect. That's it. All right. Because those were the ones that did what? They seek the Lord early while he may be found. Like the scriptures say, seek the Lord while he may be found. The way that you know that he could be found right now is because we're still out here pushing these videos, going out, doing what we're supposed to do, so forth and so on. You can still learn. All right. Something this major hasn't hit over here in these streets yet. All right. They talking about, yeah, putting people in prison and everything like that, but it hasn't gone into effect yet. But we know that it will. So right now you have to get a grip on this word. You have to take in this truth as much as possible, man, because it's coming down to the wire. So read it again. It says, behold, the days come, said the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. All right. The Most High is going to pull us off the streets. Something's going to happen where we won't be able to upload videos, all of that, man, all of it. Then the next thing you know, that's when people are going to be scrambling. That's why it says what it says right here. And it says, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. 2/3 of our people are going to be seeking us. That's why the scriptures say, then shall they know that a prophet has been among them. All right. Because everything that we said is going to happen. And as soon as they realize that, then that's when they're going to want to seek the word of the Lord. But it's going to be too late. So, yeah, it's going to be a famine of the word, and it's going to be an actual famine. All right. A lot of people are going to perish from starvation. So this is the first step. Salakia, this is the first step. All right. To, Esau doing what he needs to do to make sure that this word gets off of the streets. And this is what he's going to do right here with Revelation chapter 12. Revelation 12 and 12, it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Esau's going to do everything in his power to make sure that this word does not get preached. All right. And anybody that believes, not just in Christianity, if you really out there believing in Yahweh and Yahushua, all right, he's going to bring great wrath on the true men of the Lord, man. Point blank, period. And he's going to bring great wrath on the ones that's so-called teaching this truth. They may be going off or doing whatever the case may be, but just for the simple fact that they out there claiming that they Israelites, he's going to come down on them too. Because the whole thing about this is they want to make sure that they get everybody chipped, and they want to get rid of this word, period, because they don't want any of us to receive the word of the Lord at all. All right. Esau want to get that birthright back. Esau want to stay in power forever. Esau want to make sure that he gets what he dreams of, and it ain't going to happen, man. Job 20 and 23 tells you that Most High is going to interfere while he's eating. All right. It ain't going to happen, but he will bring that great wrath. It's not just going to be a thing where he's going to be like, yeah, you're going to get locked up for 2 years. Nah, man. It says great wrath. When you think of the word wrath, when you hear the word wrath, you think of anger, you think of slashing, fire, all kind of things, man. You don't think of anything that's fun or just something small. You be like, nah, man. When you hear the word wrath, you be like, damn, it's going down. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he's getting ready to do. He's going to bring that great wrath. And one of the reasons is because we teaching this truth. So like I said, it's going to be worse than this 2 years, man. A lot of us are going to have to perish for this truth. Point blank, period. Let's get John 15. We're going to get John 15. Oh, hold on, Salakia. We're going to get John 15 and then go to verse 18. And it says, if the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. All right. Esau definitely hates us for teaching this truth. 2/3 of our people hate us for teaching this truth. And the rest of the world, for that matter, hates us for teaching this truth, man. All right. Because they hated the Lord. They hated everything about him. And if they hated the Lord, that means they're going to hate us because we represent the Lord as well. All right. So it says, if you were of the world will love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. All right. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. All right. There it is. It says the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. We already know what the Lord had to go through, man. The Lord had to go through all of that torture. He got put on the cross and then he died for our sins. All right. He did the greatest work of all time. But since we believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, we're going to be persecuted too. Like I said, some of us are going to be left in the wilderness. All right. We just going to have to be wandering around, hoping that we find food and water, praying to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai to keep us afloat until the Lord returns. Some of us going to be cast into prison. All right. A lot of things are going to happen, man. A lot of things are going to happen. But the thing is, the elect is going to be saved. The Most High is going to make sure the elect makes it up out of that, man. But in the meantime, yes, the elect is going to get persecuted for teaching his word just because we're following the footsteps of Yahweh Shai. All right. So, yeah, it says if they persecuted me, they will also persecute you. And that's exactly what we just witnessed in that video. They talking about putting people in prison for 2 years. Nah, man. Esau gonna do something serious. Verse 21, it says, but all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. All right. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin, but now they have no cloak for their sin. All right. So like it says right here, but all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake. Just because we believe in Yahweh Shai, they're going to do everything and anything in their power to make sure that we don't go out there and teach no more, man. All right. They not just going to say, oh, yeah, you were teaching Christianity or you were teaching that name, Yahweh Shai and Yahweh. Oh, okay. You get this face up to 2 years in prison. And if you choose to not teach that, then we'll let you out and then you could be okay. Just follow our faith and you'll be all right. Nah, Esau knows he ain't got time for that. We just read that in Revelation 12:12. Esau know that he ain't got time to wait. He like, look, man, if they ain't not going to follow what we talking about now, we just got to eliminate them. That's going to be his mindset. That's going to be his mindset. That's why it's going to be very important to pray to those names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai in those last days, man. All right. Because we're going to need miracles. We're going to need miracles. Point blank, period. Let's get one last scripture and then close it out. We're going to get Revelation chapter 2. And then go to verse 9. As soon as you want to go there, let me click it again. Damn, come on, man. All right, there we go. This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. It says, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. All right, we already know that this is speaking about the wicked Israelites, but we can use this scripture as well for the small hats over there because they are claiming that they Jews and they are not. They are Esau, man, and they are the synagogue of Satan, just for the simple fact that they are the wicked. They are the border of wickedness. Verse 10, it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So like I said, some of us may have to go to prison. And while we're up in there, we may actually have to stay in there all the way into the guillotine, man. That just may be what it is. Or some of us may go to prison and the Lord may perform a miracle for us to break up out of there. And we just move on to whatever other location that the Lord wants us to go to. You just never know. But either way, it says right here, be thou faithful unto death. So whatever you go through, like I said, first and foremost, you call upon those names, man. And whatever you are faced with, you don't back down. You don't break down, man. You don't get to the point where you're literally up in the FEMA camp or whatever, and then you see Esau getting ready to chop your head off, and then you be like, no, okay. And then they end up not doing whatever it is they're going to do to you or whatever. And then after that, you end up taking the chip because you want to get soft at the last minute. Nah, man. You got to have faith until the end. You got to have faith until the end. And it says, I will give thee a crown of life. You have faith until the end. First and foremost, you're going to get beamed up into the chariot. You're going to get the new bodies. And then guess what? You're going to come right back down here and get Esau. Probably you may be able to get the ones that actually threw you into prison. Because you already know Yahushua going to give orders, man, to the 144,000. You're going to give orders. Be like, hey, you go on this territory. You go over here. You go over there. Take over this. Take over that. Bring them back. And they're going to be in chains, man. That's what we trying to witness. We trying to make it to that point, all right? We don't want to we don't want to break down at the last minute, all right? So read it one more time. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So there you go. Just keep faith all the way into the end, man. But as you can see, hey, violators could face up to 2 years in prison. And this was recent, because I downloaded this video, like you heard them say in the video. This happened around Easter, which is what, like a week ago? Something like that. All right, so this is something this is brand new. This is not something that's old. You know, we had articles and reports come up like this before, but it's coming back up again, man. Because Esau know what time it is. So, and we know what time it is too. So just keep praying to those names. Hey, stay locked in, man. We almost out of here. So I'm going to end it with that. So, hey, I hope this is edifying. So with that, I'm going to say, call Halayim Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles of the great millstones to learn his truth from. Honors to the elders and brothers out there pushing this word through the four corners of the earth within truth and sincerity. And shalom to the Aquat that's listening and learning. And Yahweh Ratazah, I'll be back with another lesson. Keep pushing, Yasharala. Keep pushing. We almost out of here. Shalom.